Thank God it is Sunday. Thank you for coming back to the Seoul Dojo live here on YouTube. And this will be the first time we're actually on SoundCloud. I'm going to put this up on SoundCloud. We're going to try to upload on Mondays and get these awesome podcasts out to you guys. I am your host, Curtis Russell, aka Cali Soul, and I got my man G Island, aka Jamal Johnson. What is up, dog?
Nothing much, man. I've been looking forward to this. I was looking so much forward to it that I totally forgot about it.
I didn't even know that was completely a thing. Like, that is something new. Like, I was so hype about it, but it's kind of good that you forgot about it. Then it kind of came here a little quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's a whole new reason to love Sundays. I think that is just our tagline right there.
You're right.
A new reason to love Sundays. There's so many reasons to love Sundays, and we are one of them. So the Game Awards has came and gone. It was a pretty good show. What was kind of funny in the news was the lead guy of the Game Awards. He actually forgot to announce the multiplayer game of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he forgot to announce it. That is a very important award, I think. Personally, I think every game now has to basically have multiplayer for anybody to think it's fun or for it to have a life, kind of have a longer lifespan in today's gaming world. So I'm like, you forgot to announce that. That is so crazy. But I got the winner of that, and I want to real quick, Jay. I want to go into some of the trailers. I don't know. Have you got any chance to see some of the trailers that they that were previewed and some of the trailer premieres that were at the Game Awards?
I actually did not. I just heard about a lot of them. I meant to, because I told you about what was it? It was the weird game that everybody's like, "What the heck is going on?"
Oh, Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was I thought there was another one. I think that was probably the only one, but I didn't really get a chance to look through them at all, to be honest.
Okay. We got a good bit of trailers. I just want to hit on Death Stranding. Death Stranding, the trailer was just weird. We saw some story elements from it. I think a lot of people wanted the story elements to see, start kind of seeing the game come together. We still don't have any gameplay yet. I don't think we're gonna see any gameplay probably until like E3. Does that sound about right?
Yep, that sounds about right for me. They kind of probably just introduced it, which is kind of perfect timing, kind of just flip right in there.
I think E3 is a good time to always have like big gameplay reveals, kind of like because Death Stranding has a lot of popularity right now, and people are still a question mark over how this game is really ran. Also, I got to see a little bit of Metro Exodus. I'm super excited for that. Looks awesome. Survival kind of horror. We got a release window on that too. Fall of 2018. We were actually talking about Metro earlier this week, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. We were talking about what is the
I think the dude was playing
Redux,
Redux.
Yeah. And I wanted to look into it. It looked pretty cool. I don't know. I just kind of like, and I didn't really look into it. Like I told you, I'm kind of one of those guys that, I pretty much, if I see like a certain type of setting, whether it's like this apocalyptic setting or like this war zone type setting, then I'm instantly into it. So I gotta go and check that guy out. I got a long list of YouTube series that I have to check out, so that'll definitely be one of them, especially before this new Metro comes out.
Absolutely. We'll definitely do a Metro gameplay, a Metro walkthrough right here on our channel in the Seoul Dojo. So stay tuned and subscribe. We also got a little trailer, a 37-second trailer from the developers from Software who do the Dark Souls series. It literally just showed a bloody rope tightening thing. I don't really know how to describe it, but a lot of people are thinking, it's maybe a new Bloodborne, which is amazing. I mean, we're talking about more and more possible exclusivity coming to PlayStation, and I know a lot of people are ready for Bloodborne. I like the first Bloodborne. It was so hard and it was so ridiculous, but I do like the first Bloodborne, and I'm really excited. And those are basically the three trailers I was like, I want to talk about those on today's podcast before we jump into the big topic of today, some of the winners and the awards. Anything you want to add on that, Jay?
No, man, I'm ready to get to these winners. I've been disciplined. Um, and to answer Lorena's question, no, I probably I still didn't do my homework, which is probably going to be a common theme here. I just kind of let Callie do all the homework, and then I just kind of show up. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I kind of held out on looking at a lot of these winners. I think I've seen two of them, maybe on accident, because you know everybody was putting it up. But for the most part, I'm looking forward to really seeing how many we got right as a team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Okay, sweet, sweet. Yeah, I just saw that. Let's hope Jay does his homework. I just seen that. So let's talk about the best esports game. We're talking about a game that is dominant in the esports, because esports is dominant. There's so much money to be made into it. Jay, I said Counter-Strike. You said Overwatch. Overwatch came away with the gold here.
Let's go. Bro.
Yeah, that's one for you, nothing for me. But Jay, why did you choose Overwatch, and why did Overwatch win this category?
And I kind of explained this a little bit. Overwatch it's honestly crazy. You talk about a lot of games, and we just talked about which this is still considered a multiplayer game, but this multiplayer game within a year. I don't even know if that a couple months turned into this competitive game that everybody's jumping on, and then turn on to this esports side. Like I said, it's an amazing game. It's truly competitive. There's every game's going to have their hiccups here and there. But overall, like I said, this was a game that, it's been on a high roll. You go and look on Twitch, you look on YouTube, it's all over the place. It's making, what is it? Blizzard, making them a lot of money over there. So I already knew right off the bat that they were kind of taking over the scene. Don't get me wrong, Counter-Strike is still up there, and pretty much those other categories. But yeah, Overwatch is taking the scenes right now.
Absolutely, I think a lot of people people love the gameplay, they love the strategy that goes into it, but people just love their characters. People like dressing them up. Like during this time, people are dressing them up as Santa outfits and stuff, elf outfits and stuff, and it's Merry Christmas, y'all. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So we got the Trendy Gamer of the Year, and Jay, me and you actually both got this right. We don't know nothing about these guys, but we took a guess, and it was Dr. Disrespect. This guy came on looking like Rick Rude from WWE. Yeah. Like this dude, he has hair, all this hair, and he had these man, who's that? Bret Hart glasses on. I was like, you know what? I might mess around and watch this guy. You know what I'm saying? It was so funny, but he came out there. He was very charismatic. So I was like, well, I see why he probably won. A lot of people probably like him, like seeing him talk or something.
Yeah, and definitely he's and this was actually one of the guys that I saw, which you kind of knew. Like I say, he's out of the list that I've seen, and I watched a lot of Twitch streamers. He's one of the biggest names, but like you said, he is really charismatic. His streams are really chill. He's a great guy. Like I said, he's got the weird Rick Rude hairdo and whatnot. Like it's the mustache and everything. It's definitely a weird experience, but it's one that you enjoy. So
he does have that Rick Rude mustache, man. That is crazy. Let's move on to the most anticipated game. Me and you voted on The Last of Us Part 2, and guess what won? The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Not at all. We're looking at a game here that's possibly most likely going to be Game of the Year next year if it executes right, and we expect nothing else. All these other games, all these other 4 games, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, which I've been playing this weekend, Red Dead Redemption 2, those are big games, big names, and we're super excited, but we knew that, ultimately it was going to be Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Anything to say about Last of Us?
I'm just looking forward to it, man. I mean, it's about time, but I'm glad that they did take the time out. These guys are really smart over here. I'm really glad that they took the time out to, see how can we make this game better. And then, we're now getting it. It's perfect timing. It doesn't feel like it was too long since the last one. Because like I said, speaking of multiplayers, The Last of Us had one. So that just topped it, but being the game of the year, even Last of Us had a multiplayer to it. So
would you agree that the remaster, because like The Last of Us coming out so late in PlayStation 3's life, that game was just topping it off and at the end of the PlayStation 3 era, and then remastering it to the PlayStation 4 is just making it 10 times better because a lot of people got caught in that transition.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that we just didn't play because we got caught in, oh, well, you know what? We didn't really get to play The Last of Us, so now we get a chance to play it on PlayStation 4, better graphics. And I think that just made it a lot longer in the Last of Us lifespan that now all these people get to, sit down and play it on PlayStation 4. And that game is just awesome. Everybody needs to play it.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to play
You know
it.
what's the crazy thing? Before we move on here, is that I'm really excited to see what they do for the PS4 because, like I said, we know that they remastered it, but I got to actually watch the playthrough by a YouTuber, by Chris Smooth. I got to watch it, and like on PlayStation 3, I mean, that team over there just absolutely slaughtered this game. You know, they hit every nail, and even on the PlayStation 3, I mean, the graphics were ridiculous. He didn't even play the remastered version. He played the PS3 version.
The original,
it looked amazing. So I'm honestly looking forward to seeing, how they vamp up this for, a game that is now centered for the PS4.
Oh yeah. Full development for the PS4. Absolutely. That is kind of another way to look at it, and it'll be super exciting. So we did get the best multiplayer. I think it was the dude from Polygon. He had to like basically call the dude and be like, hey, what like one, best multiplayer, what one? Yeah. And me and you both went with Fortnite. Yeah. Unfortunately, that did not win. It was Players Unknown Battleground PUBG.
Yeah. I figured.
Wow. I see why PUBG won. I see the whole thing that PUBG has became. But I think I just picked Fortnite out of just pure fact that I had so much fun with it, and that it's kind of the same thing as PUBG. So I don't really know why PUBG really took that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll disagree with you in a sense of, and I kind of understand what you meant by they're the same thing the same way, but they're not. There's no doubt that Fortnite's going to win it next year. We can mark it right now. You've already heard it here first. Fortnite did come in a late span. It was about late June, July-ish, that Fortnite was out. And then we finally just got it on console. Literally, a couple weeks ago. So maybe it's been out longer than that. That's when we found out that it was on there. So, a lot of people weren't able to play this game on PC. You had Players Battle Underground that literally had all this time. It's been out forever. So,
but did PUBG's, because PUBG was only on PC for most of the time. Yeah. So do you think that helped?
It helped, like I said, in the simple fact that it had a longer lifespan to it, or it was out longer versus the Fortnite. That's kind of one of the biggest things that we look at is that longevity and people getting in. Like I said, if they was to win it, then it would be because people were jumping on it. But like I said, there's no doubt next year that it'll win. Players,
absolutely.
I've heard from a lot of people that have played both and played them pretty extensively, and a lot of people that I would say are really credible when it comes down to diving into these games. These guys that have been playing these type of games, and pretty much games in general for their whole entire lives. And, they're like, Fortnite is the clear favorite. There's more action to it. Players, PUBG is more of kind of a slow-paced type game, And Fortnite, I don't know, it just feels better. But overall, we'll get to see and try out and see for ourselves which one. But there's no surprise. But like I said, Fortnite's going to take it next year. You can mark it here.
We definitely going to have to check on that. So next we have the best sports and racing game. So me and you both chose Forza Motorsport 7, and that's what won. That's ultimately what took it. Let's look at some of the nominees here. So we had FIFA 18. Right, now we know why FIFA didn't get it. We know our troubles with FIFA. We know EA's troubles with FIFA. Gran Turismo Sport, I think at this point you're running a race against the most elite racer, gaming racer. So it's like NBA 2K18. I think out of all these sporty kind of games, I think that would probably be the best. Pro Evolution Soccer, it ain't gonna lie. And Project Cars 2 was, I feel like, was a little too how should I say it, more a little too cinematic to be kind of like that elite racer. So I
Mm-hmm.
think Forza Motorsport is just the of course answer here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you got to say about Forza?
Um, Not really. I mean, we kind of like I said, we expected it
Mm-hmm.
to take the reins. If you're looking at all these other ones, Forza's one that's been out, and we talked about this. That's just pretty much been on top um, throughout the years. FIFA, it's not even worth mentioning it, and even 2K. 2K has gotten a lot like FIFA. Well, they've always been similar, but with the VC stuff going on and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely wasn't going to take it because you can't have that pay to win type stuff in your game. So Forza's held it, and like I said, when you're talking about pretty much the rest of the games being racing, you're not gonna beat them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. So
I
I'm
think
glad.
once again Xbox is going to be very proud of that title. That
Mm-hmm.
was one of the few Xbox
Yeah.
titles, Xbox exclusive titles that won one of these game awards. So we have the best strategy. I went for Total War Warhammer 2. I actually read the review by the guys at Game Informer. Shout out to the guys at Game Informer. You guys do a fantastic writing. I read it and I was very confident in my answer. I was so confident. I was like, okay, yeah, this is really a good game. But Jay, you went with Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Mm-hmm.
You won. You took
Yeah,
it.
I told you, dude. I told you, man. I said I'm
Wow.
that's selecting. I told you, man. I'm on it.
Wow, that was a really really good one. I remember watching it during E3 and I said this Mario Rabbids game, this does look awesome. And then I saw more gameplay of it and I saw,
Yeah,
wow, this strategy is actually kind of deep and there's actually strategy to it. There's
yeah. It's really
actually
a strategy game.
it's legit, man, and it's beating out games like Tooth and Tail, XCOM 2
Mm-hmm.
and Halo Wars 2. And I think the problem with Halo Wars 2 is it isn't that deep
Yeah,
as a strategy game. It's
yeah.
a beginner strategy game and it wasn't as good as it probably thought it was. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what 343 Studios Industries problem was with that game.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, man, you got the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. That was a really awesome pick.
All right, man. That's what's up. I'm trying to take more victories here.
Yeah. So let's go on to the best family game.
Mm-hmm.
You picked Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I think is a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, Mario Kart's a game that's a little bit that constantly always gets better.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart has been around for ages,
Uh-huh.
so long. I picked Sonic Mania because I had so much fun with Sonic Mania. I also have a lot of respect for the development team on Sonic Mania. We're talking about guys that are just Sonic fans that just made an amazing Sonic game, and it's regarded as one of the best. It's regarded as the best Sonic game in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we both lost in that one. It ended up being Super Mario Odyssey, which I
Um.
feel like is the obvious answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think me and you were just like, I knew I was being biased about mine. I'm like, nah, Sonic, because I played that one.
Yeah. Pretty much, I think it was one of those games we selected that we kind of could have pretty much went to the obvious, but we wanted to have a little bit fun.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can look at a lot of our choices, as we go down. They're just gonna be choices that we could clearly choose a clear winner, but I wanted Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to take it. It's one of the ones that I know that I've enjoyed the whole Mario Kart series. Um,
Well, it makes sense. It's a category that says best family game. So you're
yeah,
thinking, well, what is okay? So I'm playing this with my family. It's the best game to play with my family. So
yeah,
I mean, the whole family can grab a controller and start racing.
exactly. But
I don't think is there a co-op thing in Mario Odyssey? I don't even think there's like a big co-op thing.
yeah, I think it's more of like I guess you could say family friendly. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that it has to be that.
which would make sense. And like I said, it may probably not have been necessarily a family game, but Mario Odyssey we already knew was going to do good. It was going to win some awards, so they were like, you know what, let's just stick it here.
Yeah, it was wow. Let's go on to best fighting game.
All right.
All right, so I went with Injustice 2,
Mm-hmm.
and you went with Tekken 7, which
Mm-hmm.
is a good pick. Injustice 2 actually won.
I saw
I
that. I
think
saw that.
yeah, I think that that was a really good game. I think I like how in Injustice 2 you're fighting and you can fight while you're fighting you just like you can hit a player all the way into like another stage and the stages start changing and all the characters are awesome. They have a pretty good story in that fighting game. It's probably one of the best fighting games that are out right now. I know Tekken was fairly short of that so what I hear and I think Injustice really deserved that.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Like I said, and you kind of mentioned, there was a lot of variety to it.
Mhm.
And like I said, I'm pretty sure the controls and the fighting is really fluid. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh
happy
yeah.
with that.
So we're doing best role playing game. I love this category. It's just I just because I want to rush out and get my favorite role playing game,
Hmm.
and I picked Persona 5 by Atlas. You pick South Park: The Fracture Butthole,
Yeah,
and Persona 5 wins it.
yeah. I
I
figured.
think hands down, yeah, hands down, this game has been the best. I mean, I was literally playing it before the stream. I mean, you heard it, Jay, in the background. I was playing it before the stream, and I'm at the 25th minute and 25th hour mark with this game, and I'm just like, I just cannot put it down. This story is addicting. It is this game just tackles on the most realist stories. Like but it has that attribute where it can be so dark, but still have that anime kind of flavor to keep the mood light.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And this game has so many identities and it grabs you and it'll hold your hand for 10 hours, literally 10 hours straight. It'll hold your hand so you can get into a routine. So, well, your first 10 hours is going to be nothing like your last 10 hours.
Yeah.
And it's going to be to the point where the game is just going to throw you out there and it's going to be like, do what you need to do to make sure you succeed. Because if you don't, like the consequences in this game are very dire. Like I think you can like end up failing out of school, like type thing. Like it's
Wow.
ridiculous. Like yeah, it's super crazy, and it's been one of the best RPGs that I've played at least for the last 5 years. It is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Can't take away from Final Fantasy 15. Love that game. Divinity Original Sin 2, awesome game. Near Automata, it deserves its nominee because it is a great game with multiple stories. And I played the old Nier when it wasn't good. The fact that it's good now is awesome. Why'd you go with South Park though?
This was one of my, I guess you can say, my bias picks,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. I love the game. Um, I love watching it. Now, like I said, it may not fit that category, but eventually it should win some category. That's what I feel. It's an amazing
Yeah.
game, and like I said, I just love the way they capture. It's like you're watching the actual show. Everything flows fluid, but there's actually some purpose to this. In a TV show,
Mm-hmm.
it's really kind of random. There's a purpose and a story behind this. So, like I said, it was more of a bias, but overall, I'm still happy with my pick. I'm still rolling with my pick. I'm just gonna say the judges made a mistake.
With South Park, there hasn't been so many games. Well, there really hasn't been any games that have been from a show. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And made into a game and
A
been
successful one.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and been good. Except this game. Literally, I think this is literally the only game I can think of right now that has been turned from a show to a game, and it's just been perfect because the show never lost its identity.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
think that's the best part about it. Is the show never lost its identity. If you're not a South Park fan, you're still gonna love this game. If
Yeah.
you're an RPG fan, you're gonna love this game. So I think that's why the South Park Fractured Butthole is like, well, the South Park both games,
Yeah.
the Stick of Truth is both of them are fantastic,
Yeah.
and I beat Stick of Truth on Xbox, so I love it. I think it's so funny. So we have the best action and adventure. Me and you both went with Horizon Zero Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that's a good pick.
Yeah.
But it lost out to kind of the same kind of thing that happened in the best family category. It lost out to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I feel like is the obvious pick because it, you know what, Horizon Zero Dawn got it so bad from Breath of the Wild because they came out around the same time. It might have been the same day. And it's like in Horizon Zero Dawn, it's like, oh, it's so awesome. It has all these, it has, you know, this stealth mechanic. It has, you know, you're fighting these dinosaur robots, and it has a good story. You can climb things, you know, certain things. And then, you know, Breath of the Wild was like, well, you can climb everything in the game.
Yeah.
You can do anything from the jump, by the way. It's massive and it's Link. So take that. And like, it's like when you play Horizon Zero Dawn and then you go to Legend of Zelda, it's like, dude, I feel so restricted when I play Horizon Zero Dawn now. I think Legend of Zelda is just a powerhouse if you agree.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. You know, you would hope that there would be some other ones in there, but yeah, like I said, you know, you can't top that. And at the end of the day, you know, Taito's gonna rule. That's another thing. But like I said, Breath of the Wild is a really great game. Like I said,
of
you know,
course,
I mean, it got put up there in the Game of the Year. Both of these got put up there in the Game of the Year. So obviously, they're both great games.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure Horizon Zero Dawn got a lot of votes.
Yeah.
Best action game, I went with Destiny 2. Because I never played Neo. I heard about it. I thought it was awesome. I saw Prey, didn't get into it. Cuphead, I didn't think it was gonna win at all.
Yeah.
You went with Wolfenstein 2, and that's what took it.
Yeah, I figured it. Now, like I said, I've never played Wolfenstein, but I refuse to choose Destiny. You know, that was just not gonna happen. I think I've seen a little bit of you know, the Wolfenstein, and it's one of those things. Like I said, you know, it isn't. People aren't, you know, beating down, if you will, on it a lot. You know, it's seemed like it's a really good game. So I'm like, you know, we'll just roll with this one.
And that's good. I mean, ultimately, it came out on top, and I think Bethesda as a publisher, it's a good publisher. They have a lot of talent in that regard, and Machine Games. I knew when they were making the game, you know, Bethesda was behind them 100%. And I'm really proud of Bethesda making such another great Wolfenstein game. You know, there's so many, but this one obviously must have been so good. So with the best VR AR game, never played one. Me and you both went Resident Evil 7. That's what took it.
Yeah, we figured it.
Yeah, it was just like, I think, you know, Resident Evil is a great game without VR.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it must be good with it. I mean, it's a scary game.
Yeah.
Would you ever play Resident Evil in VR?
I would probably not, to be honest with you. You know, I'm gonna be very honest. I don't do much horror. You know, my wife will tell you that. I don't do much horror, yet alone that much horror in my face. You know what I mean? Like, just playing the Resident Evil game without the VR would be, you know, more than it's enough. I think I've played Dead Space, and I think Dead Space will last me for the rest of my life now. I don't need to play another horror game or anything. You know, Dead Space has fulfilled that. Dead Space 3, so.
Yeah. Resident Evil, and in VR is probably the most scariest thing ever. And I just don't want to see, it's going to be crazy when other people get when more people get a hold of it that are horror developers, and then they start throwing in more VR games. Like if Hideo Kojima, if he gets a hold of it, and then like he did PT, you know, he did Silent Hill. Yeah, he did PT. You playing PT in VR, Jay?
No. I don't even think we finished. Yeah, I don't even think we finished the PT. Well, that's PT is what.
That's the I played PT
like
with
the
you, right?
acronym PT stands for something. Playable teaser.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And I think this was like years back. You know, I think when I just came back to Texas, to visit, and we never got through that teaser. So yet alone playing that with I think I would literally lose my soul. My soul would run from my body if I was to ever play that on VR. It's that. I mean, I would love to see it.
Yeah.
It would make for an amazing experience. You get some surround sound. You get that VR going. Yeah, it'll make.
Oh man, dude, it'd be so scary. because that game wasn't even big. It's just you're in a hallway the
Yeah,
whole
and that's the
time.
thing about it is that they really did us wrong
Mm-hmm.
with this playable
Mm-hmm.
teaser because this game had so much potential to it. Like literally, this I can imagine the downloads got into about the hundreds of thousands and millions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and like I said, they did a really great job. I mean, with that just short time period. But I think it's probably good too because it seemed like towards the ending part, whenever the guy's outside and whatnot, um, I was like, okay, what are y'all gonna do with this? It was kind of scary. Now it doesn't seem all that scary. So I think that
Yeah.
they probably did a good job not going forward with it.
Yeah. It's of course Silent Hill met his demise. I don't think we're ever gonna get another one. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I don't hold close to that game because I'm not gonna play it because I'm a scaredy cat. So
That's all right, man. That's all right.
best handheld game. Best handheld game, we went with a Metroid Samus Return, and guess what won? Metroid Samus Return. I
Awesome,
remember seeing
awesome.
this game at E3. They played it at least for an hour straight, I think, when they were talking about it, and it was looking so dope. It kind of got the Sonic Mania kind of treatment. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, we'll remaster this game, but we're gonna throw some new elements because way back, way back when we couldn't have all this in the game, so we're gonna throw a lot of this new stuff in it, and just make the ultimate, Samus Return kind of feel and just have this awesome handheld game. Now of course this is basically a setup
Yeah.
for what's to come from Nintendo. We got the new Metroid game. It got announced during E3, I believe. Yeah, during
Wow,
E3.
another one.
Yeah, it's a new Metroid game. People are going nuts about it. It's like we just got Mario and Zelda in the same year, and I
Yeah.
was kind of thinking Nintendo played all their cards. What else is there gonna? What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do now? But apparently they're going with that. I know they still got like a new Super Smash Brothers in their pocket. They're
Hmm.
gonna finally do. Game Freak is gonna finally lean into a new Pokemon game.
Hmm.
From them with the actual kind of the Pokemon Red, Blue, and the new ones Black, Yellow. All those they're gonna take that formula,
Yeah.
and I think Nintendo is just they're gonna keep rolling. And I know we transitioned to like Nintendo talk, but
Yeah.
I mean that this game Metroid Samus is just a like there's more to come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I remember like you already know that like I said Metroid I hadn't heard of really of the other handheld games. I think it was probably one or two, but not even playing this game. I just remember playing. I can't remember which Game Boy it was. It was like the flip one that they
Oh,
made.
SP,
Yeah,
Game
SP.
Boy
I
SP.
remember playing that on the SP, and like it was just so addicting.
Mm.
Um, I just really, really, really enjoyed playing this game, and I was like, wow, there's actually another one out here. I need to really keep up with this. So now
Yeah.
that you're mentioning there's a new one, I mean, I'm definitely going to try to look more into this. As we broaden our horizon and
Hmm.
start to kind of venture into a lot of these games that really people aren't really looking at on the
Hmm.
main scale of gaming. So yeah, I'm looking
It's gonna
forward
be
to it.
really dope. Gonna be really dope. So next we have best mobile game.
Hmm.
Me and you both went for Super Mario Run,
Hmm.
and I think that was a good pick, but that lost. uh, Monument Valley 2 won that. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know what that is. I've never
Yeah,
played it, never seen it, never looked at it. I thought Run was gonna be the game
me too.
because I played it and I liked it and like it was awesome. And I don't know how that lost, but I guess Monument Valley too. People love it.
Yeah, apparently, because I mean, I uh, I honestly thought for sure. I'm like, yeah, Super Mario Run. There's nothing. I mean, it's Mario. Anything that has a Mario in its title, it's got a
Yeah.
chance to win. Like
Slap the Mario sticker on it, boy. It's gonna be gold.
they could bring out a Super Smash Brothers, uh, Super Mario Smash Brothers, and literally put it in the sports games, and somehow it would have a chance of winning. That's just how powerful.
Yeah, the Mario effect. So next we have best independent game. Me and you picked Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Hmm.
It met its demise against Cuphead. Cuphead ended up winning the best independent game.
Wow.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow. That is pretty. That's crazy.
That is very crazy. Now, I'm not taking away from Cuphead. I think Cuphead is a good game and it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, how didn't Hellblade win this? Win it? Like that is just
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
mind blowing. It is like if I was on the Hellblade team, if I was on Ninja Theory, when they said, yeah, next, the best independent game goes to, I would have been standing up already.
Yeah.
I'd have been ready to go. I'm like,
Mm.
it was just like, oh, how did this game lose to Cuphead? My Xbox's Cuphead. That is just crazy.
I may have to go and look more into this gameplay of Cuphead because I mean, that's I don't know. That's pretty crazy. We thought for sure Hellblade was
A shoo-in.
a shoe, and like I said, he should have been already up there accepting his award before they even announced it.
Ninja Theory should have. But that ain't the end of Ninja Theory. We're gonna hear a lot more from them when we get into it. So, best ongoing game. You went with Rainbow Six Siege for your reason. Mm-hmm. I went with Warframe for mine. Mm-hmm. It was funny because throughout the whole night, Warframe was the Warframe development squad. They were just like, hey, we got these fan made trailers we're gonna be showing throughout the whole night, whatever. I'm like, they must have won ongoing game or something because they out here flaunting already like they won.
Yeah,
man, he must have went out there and was like, Overwatch. Well, which I'm not upset at because it's like, well, duh.
Yeah, well,
of course, Overwatch wins ongoing game.
Was Overwatch one of those categories? Really?
Yeah, it was one of the nominees. We had Destiny 2, we had GTA Online, Overwatch, PUBG, Rainbow Six Siege, and then Warframe.
Honestly, I think probably more of it was just me. I know my pick. Honestly, was just I guess you could say a little bit of bias towards it. But I mean, obviously, we could have chosen Overwatch. Like I said, you just heard me heap praise on Overwatch and just constantly heap praise on it. But my uncle, he played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I liked what Rainbow Six Siege was doing, so I wanted to give them my pick just so that they're on the map for everybody else to know about.
Yeah,
and you were saying with Warframe. Now there's 2 new games you can go and try out. Everybody,
absolutely. Warframe. I just really thought, maybe this is it. Maybe all their hard work, all their updates. It's about to come true. They're about to get best ongoing game, and people are really gonna respect them. And of course they have a respectable fan base. Of course they do. Exactly. I was just like, I was like, you know what? I'm going with Warframe. I'm feeling it. And the Big Daddy won that one. The big hitter on that one. Why didn't Destiny 2 win ongoing game?
For one, because Destiny 2 has been out since what? Destiny 2 has been out since September. So
about September, yeah.
That's
not too ongoing just yet, right?
It's not even really ongoing. And 2, Destiny 2 just absolutely sucks. It's in a terrible state. And like I said, that's just an understatement. I've never played Destiny 2. Don't ever plan on it. It is literally one of those games where you're talking about it's lost over half of its community. And I do not kid you when I say that. It lost almost 70% of its community. And guess what? They've all went to Fortnite. So, yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
That's Fortnite or Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Destiny, at the rate they're going right now, they won't even be considered. Probably the only reason they were considered is because of Destiny 1. But like I said, Destiny 2 is not it's a continuation, but it's not necessarily ongoing from Destiny 1. You're starting over completely new and everything like that, versus Rainbow Six Siege, you're constantly going Overwatch, you're constantly going PUBG, all these different games where you're just constantly flowing through. This is one that you started over completely new, kind of a whole new concept to it. So,
Curse of Osiris is out now, and I think it's out now, and we'll see if they get a lot of their people back. Black. My bad, man. I can't speak. A lot of their people back playing I was part of the Destiny 2, fan base for about a month, and then I started playing other games. Is Curse of Osiris going to make me come back? Absolutely not. Not because I hate Destiny, not anything like that. It's just right now I'm playing Persona. I got more games that I kind of got to look forward to. Games for impact. We're talking about games that impacted a community, that did more than just be a video game. You know what I'm saying? Me and you both went for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and I'm so happy to say Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice won that.
There we go, man. They finally picked up one.
We're talking about a game that highlighted a mental illness, psychosis, and implemented it so well into a game, and took actual suggestions from people who have suffered with this mental illness, lived with this mental illness, and it is something crazy. I never really knew what I knew the name psychosis, but I never knew what it did until this game presented it to me. Because this game doesn't only create anxiety for the character, creates anxiety for you, because it dances with all these elements in the game that aren't true. It presents a lot of things that are not true. And the game literally, I'm not trying to spoil it or anything, because when people play it, they're going to be like, wow, this game just really just pulls you by the neck, and it lies to you the whole time. And there's just so many things that happen in this game. Literally, I can play it now. I know where all the puzzles are at. It's a 7-hour game at that point. But when you play it, you'll have loads of fun, and this is one of those games that it did something different. We got a lot of games now that do the same thing. Today, my homeboy AD, he sent me like this new link to this new PlayStation game that was coming out. It was basically Fortnite. And I had to explain to him it's Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? It looks, and it was more Fortnite because it's like fort building. And it was just like, it was scary. It looked good, but it's like, it's the same. We have a game like that. So it's like, okay, everybody's in on the competition. No, these guys basically did something different. And I respect that game for that. And the reason why, they won this one is because they impacted a whole community of people that suffer with this mental illness. And, they were really true to it. They had like a video for it, and they had like, if you have somebody that suffers from it, call this hotline, this and that. So that was fantastic from that game. Just awesome, amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Super awesome. Yes. Best performance. You went with Ashley Birch from Horizon Zero Dawn as Aloy, who was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
She did a amazing job. We have a lot of people in here that are just good actors. Claudia Black with Chloe Frazier, Laura Bailey with Nadine Ross, and then the guy who plays BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein. But Senua, Melina Juergens, takes it. She takes the crown. That was my pick. This girl, like, she stood up there and said it. She was a video editor for Ninja Theory. She's a video editor. She is an actress. And the fact that she stepped up and all of a sudden just played this amazing character is just, I can just respect it. It's so awesome. You know what I'm saying? That, these other people, they've voice acted for years. They done work and acting and stuff. But this woman steps up and just like, you know what? We're probably hurting for money. So you know what? I can step up. I can do this job.
Yeah.
I could do this. And she hit it out of the park. What made you pick Ashley Birch from Horizon Zero Dawn?
Now this one was a tough one for me because, like I said, I enjoyed. I didn't get to experience Senua's, that whole game, but I know that the two ladies from Lost Legacy, they are just amazing. Their chemistry together, for one, it's just amazing. But I felt, I was gonna fanboy Horizon a little bit, also because like I said, she did really good voice acting throughout the entire Horizon Zero Dawn, I guess you can say, campaign or storyline or whatnot.
Yeah.
Sold a lot of it. Like I said, when it comes down to voice acting, you got to really make sure that people are actually, how do I put it? They can really sense the emotion through, this animated game through your voice. So, um, yeah, she
It
did well
really
with that
does
game.
matter. Voice
Yeah,
acting really does matter.
it does.
Yeah, and they don't just like speaking to a mic. Sometimes there's a lot of like the motion capture that goes
Exactly.
into.
That's also that too.
You just got to be just a beast. You got to
Exactly.
be a beast. Best audio design. You went with Destiny 2. I went with Hellblade: Cinema Sacrifice. Hellblade: Cinema Sacrifice came away with that one.
Yeah.
I thought to me, because I played the game, I played it with headphones on. I was like, that's a no-brainer. They went above and beyond because that's kind of dealing with psychosis. You hear voices in your head, you see things, all that stuff. They just did a fantastic job. The worst part of that game, I'm telling you, I was like, I'm just gonna stop playing this game. It's when they literally dropped you in like a room and it's dark and there's monsters and demons and stuff. That's all you hear, and you have to listen to the whistling of the wind to get out of this black cave. Like it is just dark, and I was freaking out the whole time. I was like, no, I can't do this, man. We just talked about Resident Evil on VR. You think I'm gonna play Resident Evil? And like, no.
I think when you explained it out, it made a lot of sense because I didn't really understand. I know some of these we didn't kind of understand what it is that the award was for because it's like, all right, there's audio design, then there's score, then there's music, and then there's this. But after thinking about it, kind of once you explained it out, it's like, yeah, definitely with that, that takes it into having the player experience, this. And honestly, I think that's I will give them credit for that. Like you said, there's no radar, there's no map in the game. You're simply just following these voices, following these signs and whatnot, which is pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Like then it's quite scary too. Especially if it was to be put in a horror game. So.
Oh man,
yeah, I definitely agree with that. If I could have understood a little bit better, yeah, I would have definitely went with Hellblade.
Man, and yeah, like you said, with you just don't know exactly what you're like. Audio design, like what is? Are you talking about music? Because I mean, you have Mario Odyssey in here, and then you have Legend of Zelda, and you're like, you're thinking like, what did they do? Yeah, like, okay, they had good music, it was it, but then you have the best score category, and you're thinking, wasn't that the same thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like and audio design when you play Hellblade: Senua Sacrifice, it makes sense. Like that's audio designing. That was perfect. Best score music. Score is like when you're supposed to feel sad, if they play something. We're supposed to feel mad, they play something. When it's scary, they play something. Me and you went with Destiny 2. It ended up being Nier Automata.
I was gonna say it sounded as soon as you described it, I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like Destiny 2. Maybe definitely not Destiny 2.
Yeah, but also, I mean, Bungie does do a good job of it. I mean, they with certain kind of when you're in certain kind of places, what plays, even with Halo, during the campaign, like they had such an army kind of soundtrack to it, and then at the same time having this harmonic sound when it comes to the overview of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't. I think our choice was legit actually, but I never played Nier Automata, so
yeah,
I understand why that won, I guess. Best art direction. You went with Destiny 2 again, and I went with Cuphead, and Cuphead ultimately won. Cuphead is just a gorgeous, I think I talked about it before. It's that old school kind of the super old school Mickey Mouse and the Steamboat kind of thing. The only time I can think it was replicated, and it wasn't replicated as good as Cuphead has done it, is in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you're in like the old timey Mickey Mouse part. They did a good job of it, but I think Cuphead took that and then put color to it, and then just creatively made a whole world. And I think that's a great job. I think they did a fantastic job. Why didn't Horizon Zero Dawn win this?
I guess you can say. Well, I didn't choose it. It was one of the categories, correct? Um, yeah, make sure I got my. Because I want to look back at these categories. A lot of these, I'm like, I totally forgot they were in these categories.
Yeah, you chose Destiny 2.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see what all the categories were. For
Yeah, so with best art direction, it was Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Legend of Zelda.
And I'm surprised they didn't just give it to them purely off of it being Legend of Zelda. But
yeah,
I don't know.
that's a gorgeous game.
I guess, like I said, don't get me wrong. You know, Horizon Zero Dawn definitely, you know, it looks amazing. But I still feel that, you know, even just looking at Destiny 2, I feel like it's still what they do when it comes down to just, you know, and I guess I don't even know if this is still considered art direction. If it's not, then they need to get an award for it. Just their graphic design and everything, their attention to detail on everything is quite crazy. Like I said, you know, looking at Destiny 1, maybe I don't know if Destiny 2 has it as much, but Destiny 1, like I said, if it would have came down to Destiny 1 when it came down to the score and music or the art and direction, you know, they would have definitely taken that because of how detailed and intricate or whatever the word is they were. So I don't know. Like I said, I felt Destiny 2 could have had more of an edge that kind of just kicked Horizon Zero Dawn kind of out of there.
I think all 4 games that were left out are absolutely gorgeous. Horizon Zero Dawn is beautiful. Persona 5 has so much style. I think that is the perfect word for me to say about Persona 5. Just style. Like it has the anime feel, but then it can switch to a different style on you. And it's just a gorgeous game. And I love getting lost into it. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is colorful, like just gorgeous. It has this light feel to it, and it's just like almost like a warming child kind of feel, and it's just really light and it's really nice. Just a gorgeous game. So I think all these games should actually deserve it. But ultimately, Cuphead was amazing and it got the reward that it deserved. Best narrative. This one was actually given a little early in the award show, and I was surprised because the game that won, I never played it. It's What Remains of Edith Finch. It beat out Horizon Zero Dawn and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Wow.
Even though I haven't played, you know, What Remains of Edith Finch, never touched it. I hardly heard about it. Horizon Zero Dawn, we're talking about a game that's going to keep going. Story is awesome. If we're talking about narrative, told well. A great game. Somebody tried to argue with me that it was told before. I don't know what you're talking about. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about narrative? You want to talk about like developers that did their research on Norse mythology? Absolutely great narrative. Nier Automata has multiple storylines. Fantastic. Wolfenstein 2, who doesn't love killing zombies? I mean, killing Nazis. But I guess I got to give this game. I think this game kind of deserves my time now because I'm like, I want to see why.
He's really good. Really, really good. I mean, you're in great company. So.
I mean, I'm talking about. I have no clue. Like I usually like if I don't know. Like, if I never played a game, I can still kind of tell you, like, well, you know, this is what I've heard. I put 2 and 2 together. I can't even do that right now. I have no clue. I'm completely ignorant to this game. I don't know if you have anything on it.
I've never, like, I really haven't. I don't know the developer. I really don't know anything about them. I've never heard of it. What console is this even on?
I want to say maybe PlayStation 4.
Like, I can't even picture what console this would be on. Is this Game Boy? What is it on?
I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. Well, maybe we'll throw some play on the YouTube channel. I don't know, man. I was just like, what in the world is this game? What in the world is going on? So best game direction. This is different from narrative. We're talking about a game that like kind of like covers the whole thing, as a story. Me and you both went Horizon Zero Dawn. Ultimately, the big hitter in this category won Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I figured it was going to be that.
I mean, there's not enough good things you can say about the game. Of course, it's absolutely fantastic. And I know a lot of Nintendo fans are they just know. They know this game is just a heavy hitter, and it's going to continue to be that way. Anything on Legend of Zelda winning the best game direction?
No, but I think that like they should have like took them out of some of these categories so that everybody
so other games can have a chance.
Yeah.
Nintendo's on a roll, man.
Yeah,
Nintendo's on a roll. So now we have the game of the night. Game of the year. The game, I don't even know how to hype it up as much as anymore. I mean, you're talking about the game that is just the best. The game that is cream of the crop, the best game of the year. A lot of games came out this year. A lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, a lot of great ones, a lot of amazing ones, 10 out of 10s. But this game ultimately took the crown because of it was a 10 in every aspect, and it has great balance, and it's fantastic. So we had Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PUBG, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Jay, you picked Horizon Zero Dawn. I picked Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Why? Before I announce it, why did you choose Horizon Zero Dawn for Game of the Year, best game, period?
Like I said, it's more of a biasness, and like I said, I've already had like the 3 in a row with the Destiny 2 and Horizon. Like I said, I've pretty much explained it out. I really enjoyed Horizon. Now I will say, thinking of it, probably one, and I don't think Horizon Zero Dawn has a multiplayer to it.
No,
because if it did, then it would definitely have taken this category. But like I said, overall, it was just well rounded. And like I said, I wanted to be a little bit of rebel. I didn't want to just fall into the Nintendo. I wanted to put up a fight a little bit.
I hear that. Of course, ultimately, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild ended up being the game of the year. I said it in the old prediction video that I believe that was ultimately gonna win everything, because it was like when it came out, it was just a 10 every time. It was just dimes everywhere. Everybody said it was a 10. It was a fantastic game, and I mean, there's nothing else you can really say. That's why it won, game of the year. It's just that fantastic of a game. We can look at the other nominees. I mean, Persona 5. If there wasn't no Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, if there wasn't no Horizon Zero Dawn, of course that's probably gonna win. Super Mario Odyssey. I think it got unlucky because of its homeboy, its brother, its cousin, whatever. Its Nintendo family was so powerful. Why don't you think PUBG didn't take this?
Honestly, I don't think PUBG. I guess I don't know if that would really be fair to say. You know what? I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't feel PUBG should have. Now, don't get me wrong. PUBG is definitely a great game. It's definitely a great game to put up on multiplayer and a lot of different categories. But I don't think it deserved to be in this category. Like I said, it has a nice concept to it. Like I said, it was just really popular. And like
I was about to say that. I was just about to ask you. I was gonna say, was it the big boom from PUBG that this new battle royale kind of game just blew up?
And that's what I was gonna say. You got this new format that's just kind of, I guess you could say, not foreign to us, because we've all been experienced free for all, in many different games, Call of Duty, Destiny, whatever the case may be. But this brought it to a whole nother level. It was really groundbreaking. It set the tone to where, we're going to look at least for the next year or two, these different developers now trying to make these battle royale games in different type of formats. And so they set the ground, so I can understand why they're there. But I do feel that next year that, they won't be there. I honestly,
maybe PUBG was I think it was maybe because PUBG was the first one to do it.
It set the standard. It set the ground, and I applaud them. The PUBG Corp for coming up with this and finding a way to make it work. Overall, that allows games like Fortnite and all the new ones will have to kind of capitalize. Now PUBG is gonna have to step its game up and make it better because, like I said, you can't beat free Fortnite. And like I said, Fortnite has that building aspect. When you can really truly build in Fortnite and really utilize everything in Fortnite, it just tops PUBG so much. But like I said, overall, I mean, I can understand why they're there. This is groundbreaking. This is something new.
Yeah.
We're running out of time here, man. We're hitting that hour mark.
Oh, yeah. I have one more question before we leave. I have a good question for you.
Cool.
Horizon Zero Dawn never came away with anything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why is that?
I think that, it's just one of those things that it's like, you basically like, and I actually heard this a while back. It's like playing in the era with Michael Jordan. You could have been really good, but there was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So it's like you got all these greats, but then there's Legend of Zelda. You got all these greats, but there's Persona 5. You got all these greats, but there's Hellblade. So that's the way you look at it. There's so many people that you can get to. It doesn't take away from your greatness at all. You know what I mean? But overall, this was just a year for them that they got. Had it been one or two games less in here, they would have definitely taken a couple. But you can applaud each category they were in, and the games that won in that category. We can explain out in detail, and make an 2-hour-long video on each one of them on how and why they should win. So, like I said, it's just bad timing for them. Honestly.
Of course, and it's just one award show. I'm pretty sure they're gonna win something else with some other some other website, some other company. I'm pretty sure when they do their whole Game of the Year list and stuff like that, that Horizon Zero Dawn will ultimately get what they deserve, and it's still a fantastic game. That's all the time we have, right? You want me to close this out?
Yeah, you can close this out here, man.
All right. Well, if you've been hanging around for the last hour, you got some great insight on some great games from the Game Awards. You got all the awards and all the great nominees and a lot of surprises from us. A lot of surprises with the nominees. And thank you guys for watching the Seoul Dojo Live. I've been Curtis Russell, a.k.a. Cali Soul. That's been my boy, Jamal Johnson, a.k.a. G Island. And we are here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Seoul Dojo, and like the video. We're gonna have we're gonna go back live on Friday the 22nd instead of Sunday, and the 29th. Both of them are Friday. Make sure you're here. Also, like and follow us on SoundCloud now. And if you're listening on SoundCloud, get in the description. I'm gonna put the link there for the YouTube, and you can subscribe there. All right. Peace.